How's it going, everybody? So, it's been a hell of a few days. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of exhausted, but I want to get some more words on the page. So that's what tonight is about. I'm just going to get right into it. A couple of things I should mention. Off stream, I've been doing some thinking, what little thinking I can get done with the distracting ass election here in the States. But I have come up with, I think, a last name for Carlos, at least a placeholder last name, so I have something to write about him. I'm going with Adamat. I don't know, it sounds kind of in line with a lot of the other fictional last names I've written into this series, and I came up with titles for some ranks in the Guard, at least. Some things I can throw around when I'm writing different sections, talking with guards and things of that nature. So we've got Captain of the Guard, Wall Captain, Warden, Lieutenant, Private, etc. I also came up with a name for another character who we have not written about yet. Sheila. I think her last name's gonna be Lark, because I figure it'll probably come up at some point. I have not actually checked that this is working properly while I'm streaming, but it seems to be. It seems to be going a lot better than yesterday. So we've got the outline up here. Sheila shows up. Well, Sheila is actually the person that Carlos gets sent to chase after, who he's just going to hear about very shortly. So, glad I came up with that. I don't know if we'll get that far into introducing her yet or not. But let's just get to it. I'll turn down my speaker a little bit. Anyone watching, if you think the music is too loud or my voice is too low, let me know. And I will be sure to fix it. So, you know what? I'm going to do a quick read through. I haven't touched this. I've wanted to do little fixes here and there. I'll probably do editing off screen, honestly. I don't need to show a little bit of that process that goes into it. Yeah, because I've been wanting to mess with this for the past few days, but I just haven't wanted to spend more than 10 minutes on it or so. And, normally I would have just sat down and messed with it for a bit, but having decided to do all of it on stream has stopped me from doing that. That might be something that I go ahead and just do, because it's kind of part of my process, and I'm not about to hit live stream and whatever just to do that. Maybe I'll screen record for it or something. I don't know. And that way I'll have it on record of me going through it. Might be a good idea. I'll think about that before next stream. But yeah. So I'm just gonna read through. To start with, it was a dark and dreary day at Guard Post 12. It wasn't the first or the last Carlos would see. How many times had he needed to sit through a day hearing the guardmaster spout off numbers like 15% less shoplifting in the market district, 18% less cases of mole cats eating Petunia Schlesinger's garden vegetables? How many times had he heard Herod tell this story? And you know how he got away? That's gonna need something. I'm not worrying about that right now. Carlos was only half listening as Herod blathered on about moons know what. He was quite a talker, that one. How often did the man need to hear himself speak? Carlos said, I've heard that one 1,000,000 times, Herod. Yeah, well, you might not hear nothing from me if you don't get that chip off your shoulder, Carlos. You really expect me to sit here 10 hours a day and not rehash a few stories here and there? Carlos sighed. He supposed that Herod had a point. He caught himself rehashing old conversations more times than he'd like to admit. It was just one of those things that came with being an Amphoran city guard. Fact of the matter was that Carlos liked his life. He liked his job. As much as his days could sometimes blur together, the times when he was truly happiest were when he was helping people. When he was, and I'm gonna put a story here, I've gotta remember that. And I think I have to, I need a name here. When he was helping Mrs. M with her groceries, or when he was simply keeping the criminals something at bay. Maybe I actually forget what I wanted to do here. I know that I wanted this to portray some biases he has as a city guard, but I guess that's why I left this blank, because I couldn't think of a good turn for like his thoughts to take in that moment. I want that to be, I don't know, something. Oh yeah, and then there's a section here. Add some more conversation or things happening at this guard post in a single paragraph. Maybe we can do that now. Maybe we could have Carlos. Nah, this doesn't necessarily seem like he would have like lost himself in thought just with this paragraph. So maybe it won't be that. I'll have to think about that further. A man shuffled his way down the cobblestone street ahead of Carlos and Herod. As he drew closer, he began projecting his voice as if he were an actor in one of those stage plays that had been gaining popularity in the Noble District. Carlos' last name, this is where I can edit something real quick, because I hated looking at that. Adamat, Carlos Adamat. I don't know if I like that, but it's the stand-in for now. Seeing it written there, I don't know if I like it, but it's what we're going with for now, so I'll try not to use it too much. Carlos locked eyes with the man, who visibly flinched at the confrontation. That'd be me. Carlos looked at the man's rank insignia. Warden. Here we go. I'm just getting rid of words right now. I need to not edit too much, but I left so many blanks in this. How did a fool like this gain that sort of rank when Carlos was still stuck on gate duty at fucking guard post 12? What is it, sir? Watch Captain Jeffries has ordered me to come and... Oh yeah, I had a specific voice in mind for this guy. Watch Captain Jeffries has ordered me to come and relieve you of duty here. He wants to speak with you about an urgent matter. He asked for you specifically. I have to tell you to meet him at guard post number 16 immediately. Okay, Okay, we already had Carlos sigh. How's Carlos react? And I need to figure out the positioning of my keyboard better because the microphone's right in front of it. Let's see. I'm just gonna move some things around really quick. Let's just try. My apologies. Give me just a moment. All right. Almost there. Okay, So Carlos needs to make his way to this post to be informed of his duty. So Carlos needs to react. He already sighed, so I'm gonna put sighed in to be edited. Oh, actually, you know what? Fuck that. He's not sighing. He's not mad that this is happening. We were just talking about how monotonous everything was. So, he's actually going to be excited. Halfway through the man's... let's not be that wordy there. Carlos smiled. It had been a long time. There we go. Carlos smiled. It had been a long time since he had been called in for an assignment. So Carlos smiled. It had been a long time since he had been called in for an assignment. Let's see. Sorry, I probably drank directly into the mic there. My bad. So, the reader doesn't know anything other than that he's an foreign city guard at this point. So... I'm worried about doing this, but I'm going to put in a little thing about the foreign guard here. It's a little bit exposition-y, but I think it'll work. Okay. Dealt with crimes and claims of crime from Flores citizens. Alright. The foreign guard often dealt with crimes and claims of crime from Forest citizens. These sorts of assignments could range from helping from catching criminals, catching known criminals. Oh, second page. sorts of assignments could range from catching known criminals to checking in on... I'm trying to come up with an equivalent to like calling the cops, but from like from maybe the 1600s, like the Renaissance age. What would that? Let's look something up. Law enforcement. Renaissance. Medieval and Renaissance. This is perfect. This is what I want. I know knights were involved in medieval times in England, but it wasn't just knights. It was like I don't know if constables were far in the future from then, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, here we go. Florence, Italy. This is what I'm looking for. Okay. The court system and Inquisition procedure reached their furthest development in the early 15th century, before the Medici recall in 1434. I don't know what that is. I mean, I know who Medici is, but and before citizen-manned courts eroded ius commune procedures and law. Orders from the executive branch to the judicial branch were still rare. The central institutions of the Florentine criminal system in the early 15th century were still the medieval courts of the three foreign rectors, the podesta, the captain of the people, and the executor of the ordinances of justice. The system sometimes used less legitimate forms of evidence, such as public fame witnesses and confessions extracted under torture. Policing was improved, which made the full implementation of Inquisition procedure possible by allowing the court system to accuse suspects. Ooh. Oh, I want to put an Inquisition into the procedure for the city guard. That would be pretty wild. Okay, that gave me some inspiration at least. It's not quite what I was looking for though. Enforcing law and order. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. Okay, this is all the sentence I need. It's the responsibility of the victim and local community to find the criminal themselves. It was expected that communities would be responsible for policing and combating crime. Alright, that's perfectly in line with what I'm going for here. Because the city guard is essentially going to be like a military force that is just stationed in case the city is attacked. But their day-to-day will be occasionally dealing with criminals and things like that. Yeah, okay. Oh, I know exactly how to word this now. Alright. And for his citizens... Okay, let's finish it. That's the last segment of the last sentence. These sorts of assignments could range from catching known criminals to checking in on manhunts being conducted, or okay. These sorts of assignments could range from catching known criminals to checking in on manhunts being conducted by the citizenry. I want to make this a 3-part list, but I didn't word it right. These sorts of assignments could range from catching known criminals. I just need to get rid of this. And not use range from, actually. These sorts of assignments often involve catching known criminals, checking in on manhunts being conducted by the citizenry, and Carlos's favorites. I think I already said what I wanted to say here, actually. These sorts of assignments often involved catching known criminals, checking in on manhunts being conducted by the citizenry, and Carlos's favorite of all the assignments. What I'm gonna do here. Wait, actually, no, I didn't say what I wanted to say. Sorry, I'm confusing myself. I'm kind of tired, honestly. Started so late, and yeah, I forgot to mention I'm gonna end the stream by 1 because I've been kind of obsessively watching the election results, just trying to find out what the hell's gonna happen in the U.S. I was hoping that they would call a state to, I don't want to get into it, but I was hoping they would call a state tonight, earlier today, and it sounds like they're going to call Pennsylvania at like between 1 and 3 in the morning. So, yeah. Been very distracted. It's all good. At least I hope it's all good. Okay, these sorts of assignments often involved catching known criminals, checking in on manhunts being conducted by the citizenry, and Carlos's favorite of all the assignments. Finding I want to say like investigations without saying the word investigation, just kind of to throw the whole difference of his position into the mix. The fact that he's a city guard, like they might not have official terms for these things that like a police force would do, because they're usually just standing by gates. You know what? I'm gonna put individuals of interest and move on. It can be fixed in the edit. Yeah, I really hate that actually, but it's gonna be the placeholder. gonna get rid of one half of this sentence. That looks like a paragraph. I forgot this was in the middle of dialogue. Head right there. Okay, yeah, he already said he was gonna relieve Carlos of duty. I was just checking, because I wanted to make sure it was clarified that this guy was taking his spot so he can just leave right away. Okay. Now we get to lay out the city. What's the city like? And the city, I don't know if I have any digital examples, but I have a notebook I don't even have near me, so I won't be able to show it to the camera. But the city of Amphora is kind of built up on a cliffside. Well, on the I was about to say on the edge of a cliff, but not the edge of a cliff, like the beginning of a cliff. Like a slope that goes down where they have a shoreline, and then this slope heads up and the cliffside starts. So if you were to imagine, let me see if I can draw it right here in Google Docs. Is that possible? I think that's just the color of the type. I know that there is a image creator in here somewhere. Drawing. Here we go. Okay, so how do I make the lines? I see the line tool here. I was hoping for an actual drawing tool. Well, this isn't going to be as good as I'd hoped, but it's good enough. So like, say you've got a cliff, right? Cliff by the seaside. So there's water out here. Oops. I don't know. I don't know how to use this tool. Anyway, so you've got like the ocean, and the ocean shore is like this, right? And it goes out. So Amphora is this big capital city, and it's a port city. So you've got like you've got docks out this way. This is the worst drawing ever because I'm using a line tool. And then you've got this cliffside here. So Amphora is basically built up upon this thing, and it's not a straight coastline. Obviously, it juts out into the water, but basically, you've got this big palace up here. It's like a government building, actually. It's for this council place. And then you've got the noble district. Is all the buildings surrounding it are for noble use only, and commoners are not allowed in, and stuff like that. And then it's walled off. There's a wall surrounding the noble district. And then you've got all the schools and stuff out down this hill. And then you've got like a merchant district out by the docks. And that's Amphora in its structure. Oh, and then, sorry, the slums and the merchant district are like separated, but they're all contained within one wall. And then there is a factory district outside of it, because this place is kind of magically industrialized is the best way to put it. Like it's industrialized like a little bit mechanically, but a lot of its economy actually stems from these people who can manipulate matter. And so that all plays into this and how the city is structured and why it's structured that way and all that. I'll save this, even though it's a terrible drawing. Oh, I want to get rid of it though. So, that is, I kind of need to get the idea of that city across. And he's on the outside wall. He's not guarding like the noble district. He's guarding between the factory district and the inner city, which is mostly slums and a merchant district. So the inner city is like really important economically and really downtrodden socially. So it's this strange sort of dynamic where like people who come in through the port love seeing the merchants and the merchant district, and it's so pretty. And then if they go into the wrong side of town, like everything's worked out. People are doing horribly and plague-ridden and awful. And then if you go even further out, like there's all these people who live in that downtrodden area, go out there to work and create and deal with bullshit. And not to mention, some of those factories are actually basically slave camps where they're prisons, and those are the ones that use magic users. And that's where he's headed right now. Well, yeah, he's headed to the guard precinct stationed outside of the wall. So I should describe that. First, I should describe that he's actually leaving the outer wall. Alright. Yeah, that's nonsense. Carlos. Alright, I want to say Carlos bade farewell. Like, bid farewell. Maybe it's just bid? I think it might be two different words. Bid and, like, to bade. To bid. Maybe it's just bid, and people pronounce it weird sometimes. I don't know. Carlos bid farewell to her. I think that's how I spelled it. Carlos bid farewell to Herod, and I'm gonna have him think of the guy as the lame warden. Carlos bid farewell to Herod and the lame warden. And made his way Carlos bid farewell to Herod and the lame warden and made his way to district. I don't know if they call them districts. I'm gonna go with yeah, they do call them districts actually. They call a lot of things districts in Amphora. Actually, yeah, they wouldn't call it a district because they've got the merchant. I mean they've got like the noble district and the factory district. Could just say the factory district. Actually, I need that. That actually kills two birds with one stone. Made his way to the factory district. Maybe I should capitalize it. I don't know if that's supposed to be capitalized. I'll work on that later. Carlos bid farewell to Herod and the lame warden and made his way to the factory district. I'm not going to use the number, I'm going to use the word. It was more than a 10-minute... It wasn't more than a 10-minute walk through factory, through the district. I feel like I'm putting a lot of exposition in right now. I'm not... I mean, it's the start of the book. Maybe I'm just so used to writing in the middle of a really long novel that I'm second guessing all of this, but it wasn't more than a walk through the district, which, of course, this is the first draft too, so I can move this shit around, do all sorts of stuff. Once the month is out, I need to just write. Stop thinking so much. Carlos bid Herod and the lame warden made his way to the factory district. It wasn't more than a 10-minute walk through the district. Which... So what I'm stuck on here is convenient placement for, I'm thinking about how he's just fairly close to where he needs to go, and this is not the way to say it, honestly. That's what I'm figuring out. I'm trying to move from where I'm at to giving a layout of Amphora in general. It might not be possible, and it might not be worthwhile to do that, though. Like, I might be obsessing over that a little bit too much. Because all they need to know is what the factory district is like right now. So, Carlos bid farewell to Herod, and only Morden made his way to the factory district. It was more than a 10-minute walk through the district, which was conveniently close. That's what I need to do. Get rid of this comma. It wasn't more than a 10-minute walk through the district, which was conveniently close to his post, as it was built up outside of the district. So, it was built up outside of the gates. Carlos was often amazed by this part of his city. Not only represented the city all of its economic might, but it also represented it in all of its not only represented the city in all of its economic might, but it also represented it in all of its I don't want to say unfathomably disgusting, atrocious, trash-like dirtiness. But I want to say that with like 2 words. For now, grossness. That works as a stand-in, for sure. Sometimes I do this just on first drafts. I just put like the most ridiculous thing in, because then when I go over it later, I'm like I get the idea, I get what I want to say, but I'm just like, well, it can't be that. What, like it's almost like I am forcing myself to correct myself in a way, if that makes any sense. true nastiness. I don't know why I'm still thinking. It not only represented the city in all of its economic might, but it also represented it in all of its gross growth. Want Carlos to just think something. I don't know why, I just feel like he needs to have a say in this paragraph or in this little thought here. Otherwise, it's just exposition. And if it's just exposition, it's bad. I want all detail about surrounding areas to come through the character's viewpoint. And he needs to think about the factory district in order for me to describe it. So that's kind of, okay, actually I'd kind of cover that. Carlos was often amazed by this part of the city. It not only represented the city in all of its economic might, but it also represented it in all of its grossness. Now that Carlos had thought of it, I just wrote what I wanted to do here completely wrong because I already covered half of it. Carlos was often amazed by this part of the city. Need to finish this thought. That's what I need to do. Carlos was often amazed by this part of his city. It not only represented the city in all of its economic might, but it also represented it in all of its grossness. I need to put a word in there. I'm getting annoyed with myself already. I went too far. But it also represented it in all of its unsanitary glory. Actually kind of like that. It's what a New Yorker would say about New York, you know? Okay. It not only represented the city in all of its economic might, but it also represented it in all of its unsanitary glory. So he's amazed by this part of the city, as he often is. I guess I can continue. Add to this then. We're often massive. Four to 5 stories tall. And taking up as much space as your average city block inside the walls. Oh yeah, I like where this is going. Okay. District's buildings are often massive, 4 to 5 stories tall, taking up as much space as your average city block inside the wall. That just clears up a ton about what this place is like. Now, okay, I have to pull up the timeline. Cool, I get to pull up the timeline. This is awesome. I haven't shown it on stream yet. I think I don't know if I have the timeline on the computer I'm streaming on. Oh, speaking of computer I'm streaming on, I'm still on my laptop like I was last time, but you might see this guy right here, see part of him at least. Let me switch over to, yeah, there you go, you see more of it now. This is the PC I built specifically for streaming on Twitch and for gaming and stuff, but it's missing one piece, missing a cooler for the CPU, and that should be arriving on Monday. So 3 days from now, seeing as it's Friday, I will have this at least installing Windows. So Monday's stream might be off of my laptop still. I might stream no, I wouldn't stream the process. I almost streamed the process of building this, but it was right in the middle of the election. I basically built this while watching election coverage. So, yeah. I'm pretty excited. But, the stream should be a lot better when I get that running. And I'll probably be playing some games in between sprints. Like I want to do some like way longer streams than what I normally do. I normally do 2 to 4 hours. I want to do like some 8-hour ones. I'm gonna need the time to write anyways, and I'll probably do sprints because it's such a short stream. I didn't break it out yet, but I have this hourglass. Takes half an hour to run the sand down. Perfect time for a sprint, so I can just start a writing sprint, flip it over, write for half an hour straight, then do some stupid stuff or play a game for an hour, and then spin back, and we can do that on stream together and stuff. So it'll be kind of cool. Yeah, I also want to see if any friends want to come on the stream over this month. We'll see what happens with that. There's a bunch of cool stuff I want to do. While I'm taking this time out, actually I need to find out if that time lines up first. Okay, okay, let's see if I can preview. I have the Photoshop file for it, and I am afraid of opening Photoshop while I'm live streaming. That could go very poorly with this MacBook. The stream might crash immediately. So let's see if a quick look will work. Okay, it did work. Cool. So I can, let me pull up this. Let me see if this becomes a window I can actually broadcast. I don't see it actually. Hold on. Let's see what happens here. Nope, that's not it. That was close, but... Well, shit, I know one way I could put it on. It's gonna take a lot of processing power to do a full window, but let's try it. Let's just do it. Here we go. Oh, I need to actually switch monitors with OBS. 1 second. Let me pull the mic over. Okay. Display capture. Create. Ooh, this is not the display I want you to see. This is. Okay, there we go. It's on top of everything. Give me a second. Here we go. Okay. So, here's the timeline. I don't think I can zoom in very well. I'll just point things out. But we've got, what I'm looking for is something very small. But there's a lot that goes on in this timeline. And there's a lot. This is kind of outdated in my outlining process. Like, this is from a while ago. But, and it also includes my D&D campaign. Let's see. This is where my novel takes place. And this is where this novel takes place. Like 20 years prior to this green line that cuts through vertically. What I'm looking for is when industrialization happened. And it happened in 415. And that is... Okay, I need to actually pull out my manuscript. The timeline is not going to cut it. Hold, please. Sorry. Let's get rid of this. Alright. Back to chat camera. Okay. Rough draft. Editing papers. What I'm looking for is, I mentioned specifically when, like, the train was invented in comparison to the bigger novel that I'm working on, that I'm not writing for Nano. Because this takes place, what we're writing right now takes place 20 years prior to the events that take place in this book. And it's important. I might just do it in the editing process if it takes me too long to find that chapter, but kind of plays into like literally everything I'm about to write about, so it would be good to know. Okay, finding it. Where's the train? Okay, getting close. Apologies. I know this is not fun to see me just going through papers. Sorry. Okay. I think this page will have it. Okay, here we go. Aaron had never been on a train before. As a matter of fact, Aaron had never met a person in his life who had been on a train. The newly constructed monstrosities had only been active for about 5 years. Their creation was a 50-year-long project funded by the High Council of Amphora to increase the speed of deliveries from Amphora's furthest mandates. Okay, so that means time that this is taking place in is about 30 years into the process of creating the train as a government project. Which, if you couldn't tell, was inspired by the creation of the train in actual history. So there we go. Let's see. There was a reason that I needed that information. Right, okay. So, yeah. I'm writing about the size of these buildings. And, I need to know, like, where we were at in the timeline in general for a whole lot, but the factory district, this would kind of be really only 30 years in the making. Meaning, Carlos would have, like, witnessed the rise of this entire district, like, into existence. It probably would have been farm fields before. Farm fields when he was a baby. Let's see. I haven't come up with an age for Carlos necessarily, but he's 40s, I would say, in his 40s. Early 40s. The district's buildings were often massive, 4 to 5 stories tall, and taking up as much space as your average city block inside the walls. Oxford, comma. Right. Before I get into it, I do want to check something. I might be ending the stream here if certain things have happened in the real world. Let's see. Where are we? Decision desk. I suppose I could just put it up on screen really quick. Oh, I'm not on their profile. What's happening? 12 minutes ago. Georgia results. Trump is up 1,400 votes. Wow. That's a close one. That's going to be a recount for sure. Anyway, this is not a political stream. I will stop looking at shit. I'm just very distracted, which is probably why I've only gotten like 200 words done in an hour. District's buildings were often massive, 4 to 5 stories tall, taking up as much space as your average city block inside the walls. I don't know if I like the wording of that, but it's gonna stay as it is right now. This is gonna be a new paragraph. Carlos had seen this part of this. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna put this, because he's been referring to it as the district. But really, he's walking through a place he's familiar with. So he's gonna think of it as, oh, it's like this part of the city that I call home, you know? Like, oh, it's this part that, like, he would barely have a word for it in his head. Just the place that he knows. So, I just realized that my stream was looking very scuff. I apologize. Fixing that right now. Okay. So, Carlos had seen this part of the city grow. Carlos had practically seen this part of the city be built. It had undergone a transformation when he was a child. It had undergone a transformation from farmland to to large worker okay, yeah, this is good. This is a good stand-in. He was gonna be originally in the outline. Where are we? There we go. He was gonna be, I took it out, at a workers protest, like a strike basically, in the factory district to start, like for the first page. I turned that to sitting at a city gate, because I needed him to exist in mundanity before he gets thrown into a hell of a mess. So I'm building a good stand-in for that, though. That thematic piece to this. Yeah, okay, so the way I'm doing that is right here. It had undergone a transformation from farmland to large worker That's 2 forward. Craftsmen. Workshops. It had undergone a transformation from farmland to large craftsman-owned workshops when Carlos was a child. About this might be getting too exposition-y again, but about 10 years ago, about 10 years ago, yeah, okay, this is actually, here we go, I figured out a way to make it less exposition-y. About 10 years ago, a number of nobles' sons bought out those workshops, expanded them, and hired, and all this information is extraordinarily important for what's to come. I just realized I'd been writing on, I'm sorry, I've been writing all of this that I was saying out loud, and you didn't get to see, but I think I spoke it all out loud. Carlos had practically seen this part of the city be built. It had undergone a transformation from farmland to large craftsman-owned workshops when Carlos was a child. About 10 years ago, a number of nobles' sons bought out these workshops, expanded them, and hired... I'll finish that in a second. The reason all of this is really important, let me switch scenes and remember to switch back, was it's important because he is going to find this person that he's about to be sent to find is going to be an escapee from one of these prison factories, and he's going to uncover a whole dark conspiracy that's going on about how these factories are being used to manipulate people and take advantage of them and prop up the economy in the process. So that's like the whole story there. Well, with the exception of they go on a daring heist and free a bunch of people. But that's why this is important, because it lays the groundwork for that. That on page 2, the reader knows the background, and they're also getting like a visual of the city. Fairly certain I can speed up my writing pace by like 3,000 times once I get this important world building in. So, Carlos had practically seen this part of the city be built. It has undergone a transformation from farmland to large craftsman workshops when Carlos was a child. About 10 years ago, a number of noble sons bought out these workshops, expanded them, and hired I don't know how much modern, I guess not modern vernacular, but common vernacular I want to use to describe certain things. Like I don't necessarily want these factories to be thought of by the reader as as factories like they are in the modern day. So if I say unskilled workers, like that's a very like historically relevant word choice that evokes like Henry Ford and how he figured out you could get unskilled workers to operate a factory. Like, I don't know if I want to almost get away from that connection so I can rework the connection into what's going on in this story and their history and this universe's historic version of these sorts of human things, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's all like editing stuff though. So that's why I'm marking like a lot of stuff for editing, because there's just better stuff I could be saying that I can't think of. About 10 years ago, the noble's sons bought out the workshops, they expanded them, they hired unskilled workers. Since then, Carlos had seen the district's buildings and tenements rise up and grow out of the city of Amphora's outer walls, like moss off the side of a log. Cool. Now, I need a drink of water. Let me mute the mic real quick. Okay, so from here I think I don't really know where to go at the moment. moss off the side of a log. Carlos is headed to post 16. I might need to change this post number. Post, like guard post. I don't know. There was another mention of post, guard post 12, right? Yeah, no, I can't use post here because I'm using it in reference to like his positioning on a map, like how he's been posted, and I want to avoid that confusion. So I need to meet him at, I don't want to use precinct, it's too modern. I want to use like outpost could work, but it has I don't like that word, the post. Office, like district office, not district though. I don't know. I guess I'll just leave it to be edited later. Well, while I'm considering, honestly, getting distracted again and growing kind of tired at 1:15, but I do want to get more. So maybe more here to describe the city. All these little things, where I've considered adding more. Might go through those one day, and like if I get stuck at any point, I might just head back and fill in, like add some more conversation on the first page. Let's do that. Describe the city a bit more. Maybe that needs to happen. Let's see, and we can do that sort of a thing. I'm gonna avoid editing until November, until I hit 50,000 words. I'm gonna avoid editing. Like, it doesn't mean I won't do any editing, because I'll need like to reference things and stuff, maybe, or like I needed to know Carlos's last name, so I came up with a last name. I might throw that in where it's needed, but for the most part, I want to get words on the page, and that involves avoiding editing because it involves time. You need to sink a lot of time into this. So, yeah. Maybe we will use an off day to fill that stuff in. Until then, the other thing I wanted to say is I might do a lot of jumping around, and I might not. But because, often I like to write linearly, but I might write like off-shot character things or like specific scenes out of sequence, just to like get an idea of where things are headed. And because it's such a short time span that I'm trying to finish this in, it might be very helpful to just jump around a whole lot, because like the goal is 50,000 words for me, not necessarily finishing. I mean, it's obviously not finishing the book, right? Because you still have to edit, you still have to do all this stuff. So I might be doing a whole lot of jumping around depending on if I get stuck somewhere. Like, I don't want to leave a day where I'm not making progress, especially having skipped 4 days because of the election, and just being super focused on that and not wanting to involve it in my stream and stuff. So yeah, that's where this is at right now. And you know, I think I'm probably gonna call it here, because I'm already feeling it. The tired hit me, and the distraction is coming with it. I would really love if they called this election tonight. I don't have to pay so much goddamn attention every second of every day. But you never know. I hope everyone has a lovely night. Thank you for tuning in if you did. It was a late one, so I'm surprised anyone's watching, actually. But thanks again. I'm glad we got some more done. If I do end up doing like shorter bits of writing here and there, I will film those just so that I have them on camera. I might post them like unlisted on a YouTube playlist or something and link it inside of my yeah, I'm really tired. I can't even think of the words. The box underneath my video, when you scroll down that area, I'll put my YouTube's already linked there, but I'll put a unlisted thing there so people can watch that process if they want to or something. But yeah, otherwise, thanks again for tuning in. I'm glad I can finally get back into this. Have a good day.